Welcome to Powercoat Music. In today's presentation, we're going to talk about the ART brand Studio V3 voice valve preamplifier and why I use it. We know that the power amplifier is the primary amplifier in an audio system, and this is because it supplies the necessary current needed to drive the loudspeakers. Now, this is obviously the king of that realm. Well, it's not the only type of amp we know that's used as part of an audio setup. The preamplifier is also used to boost signals from analog sensors such as microphones and instrument pickups. Now, they do this through these audio sensors to boost their signal to a line level, which is the standard operating level for professional recording gear. They also provide voltage gain, for example, from 10 MV to 1 V with no noticeable gain in current. With this, we know that preamps are often built into the audio inputs of devices that include, but are not limited to, mixers, USB audio devices, and digital multi-track recorders. In short, the basic differences between power amps and preamps is that power amplifiers boost line level signals so that they can be sent to loudspeakers. A preamplifier boosts weaker signals to line level, which is the professional standard. Quality preamps can improve your sound quality, providing a more full and desirable sound. We know that there are also standalone devices like the one that I use in my recording studio. There are a ton of hardware preamps on the market today, and it can be difficult to decide which one is right for you. But that's the key. Just because you buy a quality preamp doesn't mean that it's going to help you produce the type of sound that you're looking for. You should try to find the best unit for the type of music that you record. Now, this may sometimes require having more than one type of preamp. You may want to keep that in mind. Now, this depends on your recording session and the sound you require as a result. This is because many different preamp brands have distinct personalities and flavors in how they affect devices that are connected to them. With this, it's best to experiment with as many different preamps as possible before you buy. Try as many different brands as you physically can. The bottom line here is that I use a preamp in my studio and processes in regards to recording two primary sources, which are microphones and acoustic guitars. Again, this is what I do. For acoustic guitars, I mic these instruments during my recording sessions so you can see how this runs full circle. I don't just plug directly into an acoustic guitar that has electronics. I always mic them. That's how I like to get my sound. The audio signals from microphones are weak, so they need a preamp generally to boost them to a stronger line level signal. If you want to get the most out of your microphone and achieve, the best possible results and sound quality that you can, then using a good preamp is essential. Preamplifiers should be placed in the signal chain between the microphone and the mixer or recording device. Now, its job is to precisely and accurately control and maintain the audio output signal from the microphone. In my home studio, I use the ART Studio V3 voice valve preamplifier. The ART stands for Applied Research and Technology. Now, I've used this brand and model for approximately 15 years, and it has never let me down. The Studio V3 fits my requirements and is flexible, sounds good, and reliable. With this, Let's take a look at the features for the ART Studio V3. It has built-in analog VU metering. It has V3 variable valve voicing with an OPL switch that's selectable. It has up to 70 decibels of gain. It has hand-selected 12AX7A dual triode tube included. It has balanced XLR inputs and outputs. It has a 1/4 inch high impedance instrument input and 1/4 inch line level output. It has plus 48V phantom power, which is selectable. It has a phase reverse switch. It has a plus 20 decibel gain switch, an input gain control, an output level control, multifunction dual color LED power, clip and limit indicator, and the unit has a fully shielded all steel chassis. Now we'll examine the technical specifications of the ART Studio V3. What we have here is a tube preamp with one channel. It's got phantom power and a compressor. The tube type is a 12AX7A dual triode hand selected tube. The input and output connections on this unit are both XLR and 1/4 inch, and we have the input impedance for the XLR and the 1/4 inch along with the output impedance. Also, we have the analog maximum input level and the analog maximum output level for both the XLR and the 1/4 inch. And then we have the analog maximum output level for the XLR and the 1/4 inch as well. From there we have the frequency response, the dynamic range, the THD along with the power requirements, 9-volt AC, the dimensions of the unit, not too big, and also the weight at 1.5 pounds. Let's move on to the ART Studio V3's front panel controls. We'll start with the input control. This sets the amount of input gain for the preamp. Turn the control clockwise to increase the gain and counterclockwise to decrease the gain. You can control two ranges of gain with this control. That is plus 26 to plus 60 dB and plus 6 to plus 40 dB. Choose the gain range using the plus 20 dB gain switch. So let's talk about the plus 20 dB gain switch. This sets the gain range of the input control. When the switch is out, the unit operates in normal mode. Pressing the switch adds 20 dB of gain. This mode is indicated by the red label and corresponds to the input control's red gain range labeling. The phantom power plus 48V switch can power any microphone that requires plus 48 volts of DC phantom power. Phantom power is supplied to pins 2 and 3 of the XLR input jack when the switch is depressed. The preamp then slowly applies and removes the plus 48 volts to prevent damage to microphones. So be sure to turn down or mute the output of the unit when engaging or disengaging phantom power. Dynamic microphones should not be affected or damaged if they're plugged into the line where the phantom power is present. If the mic doesn't need it though, don't use it. The phase reverse switch reverses the phase of the signal. It works on pins 2 and 3 of the XLR output jack and also reverses the polarity of the 1/4 inch output jack. In the normal position, the signal is in phase. In the reverse or in position, pins 2 and 3 are reversed and the signal is changed 180 degrees out of phase. The V3 equals variable valve voicing control. That's the big knob. This is ART's proprietary V3 technology. Now, V3 provides optimized reference points to begin the recording process for guitars, bass guitars, synths, acoustic instruments, percussion, and more. For example, if you're recording an acoustic guitar, V3 has a preset that has been optimized for that instrument. Let's look at the power clip and limit LED. The bicolor power clip limit LED lights green after power is applied and with lower level signals. If OPL is not being used, then the LED will serve as a signal clip indicator. It will light red whenever the signal at the tube's output is about to clip. When the OPL circuit is engaged, the LED will turn red whenever the output signal peaks exceed the limiter's threshold. At that point, the limiter will reduce gain automatically to prevent output clipping. Let's move on to the VU meter. This gives an analog representation of the unit's output signal level. 0 dB on the meter represents a +6 dBu at the 1/4 inch output jack and a +12 dBu at the XLR output jack. Besides showing the average analog level, it is sensitive to attack transients. When not using OPL, the VU meter is a great indicator of how hard you're running the tube. It also helps to set a consistent level as you change mics and instrument sources. The VU meter also reflects the impact of the OPL circuitry on the signal. Last but not least, let's talk about the output control. This, of course, sets the output level of the unit. When the control is fully counterclockwise, there is no output. Turning the control clockwise increases the level of the output signal. This is straightforward stuff. Let's check out the ART Studio V3's back panel connections. First, we have a 1/4 inch input jack, and this is for instrument and line level inputs. It has a high input impedance to minimize any loading effects on the instrument pickups. It can also handle up to +22 dBu signals for line level signals. Let's move on to the XLR input jack. Now, this jack is intended for microphone input and can supply phantom power when needed. It can handle up to +14 dBu signals, which is the hottest signal you would get out of a microphone. For even hotter input signals, use the 1/4 inch input jack. Let's move on to the XLR output jack. This jack is active balanced. You can use it in an unbalanced configuration without harm to the output circuitry. The XLR output can provide a high signal level, which is a +28 dBu at a low impedance. Now we'll talk about the 1/4 inch output jack. This jack is unbalanced and should be used for sending signals to amps, processors, or other unbalanced configurations. Both balanced and unbalanced output connections can be used simultaneously. Last but not least is the power jack, and an external 9-volt AC adapter powers the unit. Well, that, my friends, is a wrap. If you like this video, please give it the thumbs up and click the subscribe button on your screen now and join our group. We have new videos coming out every 7 to 10 days, and we would love to have you be a part of our team. Leave a comment in the comments section below and let us know what you think about this video. Also, check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and Spotify. While you're here, listen to some of the music, watch some of the videos, let us know what you think about that too. And thank you so much for stopping by. We really appreciate it, and we look forward to seeing you soon.